I've worked on trachoma, mostly building the evidence base for a safe strategy for 30 years now, at least, working in Tanzania, Niger, Ethiopia, a variety of different countries on various aspects of the safe strategy.
We're over 100,000 TT cases managed so far.
We did a clinical trial in Ethiopia to show that you could actually reduce recurrence by 30% if you provided azithromycin post-surgery. In the antibiotic realm, we were part of the initial consortium that showed you could use azithromycin for MDA. Before that, it was just being used to treat individual cases because Pfizer was nervous about providing a broad-spectrum antibiotic for whole communities. And the studies that we did showed that it was safe, that it was effective, and then we launched a whole series of research that showed how to use it, how often to use it, whether or not you needed high coverage, if so, how high. A lot of different research around that. For F&E, the original face washing trial was one that we did in Tanzania to show that improving facial hygiene was associated with a reduction in severe trachoma. We looked at water and sanitation from the standpoint of, is it enough to just provide it? Do you need, and it looks like you do need to have behavior change communication around the provision of these infrastructure developments. I still remember my very first sort of Get 2020 meeting as a young investigator, thrilled to be surrounded by all these researchers and others doing chlamydia research, but not a lot of countries and not a lot of programs yet. And then to watch this scale up, the enormous contribution that Pfizer has made to the donation program, to watch the scale up in the number of people treated, and now at this side to be watching the countries that are scaling down, that are applying for elimination, to say that all this effort has resulted in success in the trachoma world, enormously gratifying. From the very beginning, there was a recognition that you needed a multi-pronged strategy for trachoma, that just throwing in antibiotic alone was not going to be enough to really keep sustained reductions in transmission. So I think that focus, which trachoma had from the very beginning, was really important. And then I think the recruitment, the successful recruitment of multiple different partners, and particularly funding partners, enabled the real scale up and programmatic reach into the countries, kind of at the end of the road. All of us in the trachoma world recognize that if it was just a matter of getting a conjunctivitis, that we might not be as concerned about trachoma as we are with the fact that if you get it over and over again, then you result in scarring of your lid and getting trichiasis. And so it is the trichiasis, it is that end stage of repeated infection over a number of years from living in a community where you've got this exposure that leads to the blinding complication. So while we recognize that if you can control active trachoma in the children, you will decrease the pipeline of people coming to get surgery for their trichiasis. At the same time, we're still going to have that pipeline for a while. We need to do morbidity management because, after all, we're trying to eliminate blinding trachoma, not just the active phase of the disease.